Alright y'all, we back again today with another video. Today we'll be going over some of the shoes that are scheduled to release during All-Star Weekend 2026. If you haven't already, please go check out my last upload that I did. I did a video on the top 10 sneakers of 2025. It took a long time to, get that video prepared and get it uploaded. So if you guys go check that video out, like the video, share it, I would appreciate it. Before we go any further into the video, can you please make sure you subscribe to the channel? I have a lot of good ideas and a lot of good content coming up, but I can't do it without you guys' participation. So please, if you could, make sure you subscribe to the channel. So as you all may know, January is usually a dry month as far as sneakers goes. There's not too much releasing in the month of January. Everything that was in stores in December or around the holidays, a lot of that has been, purchased and grabbed up by the consumers. January just kind of marks a month where we kind of reset and refocus on, shoes upcoming. The sneakers, I guess, or shoes don't really, pick back up until around All-Star Weekend, and that brings me to the purpose of this video today. I just wanted to go over and discuss some of the shoes that are releasing for All-Star Weekend. So before I go any further, I would just kind of like to revisit some of the All-Star Weekends that we had in the previous years. I can't remember back what, sneaker we got for All-Star Weekend 2021. Actually, yeah, I do remember. I think it was the Carmine 6s, if I'm not mistaken. So we did get these as kind of like the highlight of the weekend, kind of like the general release of All-Star Weekend 2021. And a lot of people, had the issue with the midsole, bleeding down, or the red bleeding down on the midsole and causing it to change colors. But, if you got a good pair, then, you didn't have that problem. But this was the highlight shoe for All-Star Weekend 2021. And we move on to 2022. 2022, if I'm not mistaken, it was the playoff 12s. Yeah, I had that shoe. I actually was able to get that shoe for retail, but as you all may know, I sold that shoe like a while back. I just had an issue with the white bottom. As it starts to age over time, it's really not a good look, and the shoe just doesn't age well. But I do need to go back and pick up that shoe because I can't have all of the original 12s and not have the playoffs. So I do need to go back and pick that up. All-Star Weekend 2023, I think we got the playoff 13s. A lot of people was waiting on these. We were waiting for these to retro. I think this was the last remaining original 13 that we needed to kind of complete it. I do have the He Got Games somewhere in the collection, but I still need the Breads and I still need the Chicago's. The Chicago's are releasing in March, so I will be able to pick up a fresh pair of those, but this is the focus right now. So these did release back in All-Star Weekend 2023. They do sprinkle, some more releases around, the general release shoe. I guess they maybe put some collabs around it to kind of, add to the festivities, but this was the main release. So All-Star Weekend 2024, I think we got the Bread Reimagines, the leather pair. It seems like that shoe came out, last year. It doesn't seem like that shoe's been out for almost 2 years now, but yeah, I think that was All-Star Weekend 2024, the Reimagined Bread 4s. But of course, I passed on that because I had already had the Nubuck pair from 2019, and we are scheduled to get another pair on holiday 2026 of this year. And I think that pair this holiday is going to be a Nubuck pair as well. So good thing I passed up on the pair in 2024. The leather pair just it just didn't do it for me. I had already, like I said before, I had already had the Nubuck pair, and that leather pair, it seemed like the shoe would crease a lot if I, actually got it and wore it. So I did pass on that shoe, and moving on. Which brings me to All-Star Weekend 2025. So last year, we did get the reimagined Black Toes. I don't know if these can really count as an All-Star Weekend shoe because they were scheduled to release back in 2024 of October, but they just pushed the date back to release them around All-Star Weekend. We did get these as kind of like the general release shoe, I guess, and the kind of like the Bread High 85 were kind of like the limited shoes. So yeah, we did have two shoes, and also the reimagined Jordan 5s. They released around February, around that All-Star Weekend time. So you know, you did have a couple of choices or a couple of shoes that, you know, came out around that time. Unfortunately, these were the only pair that I was able to get my hands on. Couldn't get, you know, the reimagined Jordan 5s, and was unable to get the Bread High 85. So, you know, I just take these and I'll keep it moving, which brings me to All-Star Weekend 2026. So this year, All-Star Weekend will be held out in LA. At the Crypto.com arena. I think that's what the Lakers arena is called, but it will be held out in LA. They are doing the, reimagined, well, I don't think those are reimagined, but they're doing a Jordan Infrared 6, kind of like the sample pair. I think I've shown images or videos of that shoe already in the past. It does come in like a special sample box with the sample tag, and you know, I've already, you know, made my decision on that shoe that, you know, I'm gonna pass on that shoe because I have the 2019 Infrared Jordan 6s. So I will be passing up on that shoe. It's a very nice shoe. If you don't have an Infrared 6 in your collection, then, you know, I would encourage you to go after that shoe. But I think that will be like the general release pair. They are also giving us a Jordan 4 Lakers colorway. I think it's called like the Lake Show 4s. They said that they were going to release some pairs early during All-Star Weekend, but the actual release date isn't until March. So yeah, I mean, if you're out there in LA and, you know, you're moving around, you might be able to come up on a couple of pairs, I guess, but if you're anywhere else, you're probably gonna have to wait till March to kind of get your hands on those. I am looking forward to that pair. I do want that pair, would love to have it, but Infrared 6s, you know, I don't need another pair of Infrared 6s, so I will be passing along. Scheduled to release sometime in February. It's not giving me an exact date, so I don't know. It just says sometime in February. It is the Jordan 1 Union collab. They do have 3 colorways. They have a white and black pair, a Varsity Red and Sport Royal, and then that Hyper Royal pair, I guess. Out of all of them, I think the white and black pair is the most limited. It's supposed to be the Friends and Family pair. The Varsity Red and Sport Royal pair is supposed to be the one that's more widely available. And I'm unsure on the Hyper Royal as far as the numbers go. But out of all of them, the white and black pair is probably the least desirable one. So I'm glad they kind of made that a Friends and Family. If I were to go after one, I would go after the Sport Royal and Varsity Red pair. That does kind of give off a top 3 Jordan 1 vibe. But yeah, I don't know. Union's very strategic and I guess sneaky when it comes to their releases. They'll probably release it, you know, on their website, and you'll have to go on their website to try to purchase. I doubt that the ECA Sneakers app release. I don't think we got a Sneakers app release on the Unions from last year, so you know, you'll have to probably put in your footwork if you want to get a pair of these. These aren't the best to me. I know there are a Union and a Fragment collab together, but I definitely think Union, you know, has had some better collabs compared to these, especially the 2018 pairs. So You know, I will try to go after the Sport Royal and Varsity Red pair, but those other two pairs, I'm probably passing on. That shoe that I wanted to talk about, it doesn't release in All-Star Weekend. I think the scheduled release date is sometime in March. They didn't give me an exact date, but it's supposed to release sometime in March. It is the Virgil Abloh Jordan 1s. I don't know if we can really call these, you know, off-white. I think, you know, Jordan Brand is doing a collab with his estate, so can't really legally be named off-white if I'm not mistaken, but you know, we'll see. So it is the off-white Alaska pair that's supposed to release. That pair did come out a while back. I think that was the Europe exclusive pair, but you know, it's supposed to be a more widely available release this coming year or in March. So we'll see how that goes. You know, Jordan 1s are, you know, a thing of the past, I guess, but you know, this is still an off-white. It still got, you know, has Virgil's name attached to it, so we'll, you know, see how it goes. I don't think it'll be easy to come across. I don't think it'll be, you know, everywhere, so you'll have to probably do your footwork. It definitely won't be on the sneakers app, so it'll, you know, it'll be a tough release to get. So just throwing it out there, you know, get prepared for a lot of L's. So, you know, but I'll do my footwork as well and try to go after a pair, but you know, I'm not expecting anything crazy. And like I always tell you guys, all work is easy work when you're doing what you love to do. Y'all stay blessed, and I'll catch y'all next time.